Welcome back, everyone. Should Japan's baseball records count in Major League Baseball? This issue was brought up long ago when some individual career stats in Nippon professional baseball surpassed those of MLB record holders, even though the schedule in Japan consists of fewer games. It's been brought up again in more recent years as more players from Japan jump over to MLB. It's important for Japanese sports media to keep track of a player's combined stats in both leagues to help judge if he's worthy of Hall of Fame consideration. Most of these guys spend 5 to 10 years in NPB and are on track for a Hall of Fame career when they leave for MLB. One example is Hideki Matsui. His 332 career NPB home runs was only borderline Hall of Fame, but his 507 combined NPB and MLB home runs made him a lock. But controversy arises when their totals surpass those of MLB record holders, and titles such as World Home Run King and World Hit King are used. To the question I ask in the title of this video, the short answer is no. These are two different leagues with different levels of competition, and at certain points in their histories even use different kinds of equipment. You'll hear more about that later. My aim for this video is to look at a few NPB record holders who've managed to top their MLB counterparts. I'll give you 3 very different cases, compare the players involved, and I'll decide if the record holders from Japan are on the same level, or possibly a higher one, as the players in MLB. And as always, let us know what you think in the comment section. First up is the career home run record. In 1976, Hank Aaron retired from Major League Baseball with 755 career home runs, comfortably topping previous record holder Babe Ruth, who had 714. 4 years later, Sadaharu Oh retired from NPB after accumulating 868 home runs over 22 seasons, beating Aaron's record by almost 100. Oh played 1 season more than Aaron, but every season was shorter by about 20 games. This led many in Japan to consider Oh the true record holder, and the title of World Home Run King has followed him ever since. Is he the true home run king of the world? When comparing the actual numbers, then yes, he has more career home runs than anyone else in the world. Even the new Major League mark set by Barry Bonds not long ago is far short of Sadaharu Oh's total. Is Oh on the same level as Bonds, Aaron, or Ruth? Absolutely not, and I'll tell you why. First of all, during the entirety of Oh's playing career, NPB was using a compressed bat. This bat made it easier to hit home runs. It was not allowed in MLB and was outlawed by NPB in 1982. 2 years after Oh's retirement. Once NPB started using the same bats as MLB, the number of home runs hit dropped significantly. Another advantage Oh had was playing in a smaller ballpark. Korakuen Stadium, predecessor to Tokyo Dome, was the Yomiuri Giants' home field for all of Oh's career, and it was where about half of his home runs were hit. Center field was 396 feet away, just 4 feet under the Major League minimum, but left and right field were only 288 feet, far below the Major League minimum of 325. Compare that to Hank Aaron's home ballparks. Milwaukee County Stadium was 402 to center, 362 to left and right. Fulton County Stadium was also 402 to center, 330 to left and right. No matter where he was playing, Hank had to hit the ball a lot harder to get it out of the park. And of course, he was up against tougher pitching. The difference in pitching between the two leagues was even greater then. Ken Griffey Sr. mentioned in an interview a few years ago that in 1978, when he went to Japan with a team of Major League All-Stars, Sadaharu Oh was unable to hit a sinker thrown by MLB pitchers because he had never seen one before. So, would Oh have been successful if he had played in MLB? Yes, I think he would have. Hall of Famer? Maybe. Home Run King? Not a chance. Next up, the consecutive game streak. On April 30th, 1939, Lou Gehrig retired from Major League Baseball, ending his streak of 2,130 consecutive games played. This record was thought to be unbeatable for a long time. Even as Cal Ripken was more than halfway toward it, people were saying that Gehrig's Iron Horse record would never fall. What they probably didn't know was that in 1987, Gehrig's record had already been surpassed by a third baseman in Japan named Sachio Kinugasa. His streak of 2,215 games ended with his retirement at the end of the 1987 season. From 1971 to 87, Kinugasa played in every game on the schedule. Is Kinugasa's record as impressive as Gehrig's? Yes, perhaps even more so. No matter what league you're playing in, it's just as hard to get out there every single day, stay healthy, and play through injuries from time to time. Hitting the ball may be harder in MLB, but the effort it takes to swing the bat and run the bases is the same. Fielding the ball is no different from NPB to MLB. In fact, Kinugasa's position, third base, is tougher to play than first base, where Gehrig played. The NPB season is a little shorter, that's true, but that also means that Kinugasa had to do it over a longer period of time. Gehrig played in 13 consecutive complete seasons, while Kinugasa went 17 full seasons without missing a single game. Cal Ripken would eventually break the records of both Gehrig and Kinugasa. On June 14, 1996, when Ripken played in his 2,216th consecutive game, breaking the World Iron Horse record, Kinugasa was on hand to congratulate the Orioles shortstop. Of all the players I mentioned in this video, Sachio Kinugasa is the least known, and that's really a shame. He deserves to have his name mentioned in the same breath as Lou Gehrig and Cal Ripken when talking about the Iron Horses of professional baseball. Last is the career hits record, the most recent and the most argued about. On September 11, 1985, Pete Rose collected his 4,192nd career hit, breaking Ty Cobb's record, one that had stood for 57 years. A year later, Rose retired with 4,256 hits, a record that still stands today, and one that no one has come close to reaching since. Ichiro Suzuki spent 9 seasons in NPB from 1992 to 2000, where he collected 1,278 hits. The next 19 years were spent in MLB, where he totaled 3,089 hits, good for 23rd on the all-time list. But if you combine the hits from both leagues, it comes to 4,367, topping Rose's record and leading many to call Ichiro the World Hit King. So who is the world's true hit king? It's close, but I'd still give it to Rose. Here's why. Both players started their professional careers at age 19. Rose started in the minors, while Ichiro skipped the Japanese minors and went straight to NPB. If Ichiro had started his professional career in North America, he would not have played at the big league level at 19. Impossible to say when he would have come up, but 2 or 3 years in the minors seems most likely. Ichiro supporters argue that he has the most career hits in professional baseball, but that's simply not true. The minor leagues are also classified as professional baseball. If you include Rose's hits from his 3 years in the minors, his hit total rises to 4,683, beating Ichiro by more than 300. So if we're counting hits from any professional baseball league in the world, Rose is first and Ichiro second. There are some other arguments put forth by Rose and Ichiro supporters. One of them, in defense of Rose's record, is that back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, most stadiums were multi-purpose and had wider foul territories. So a lot of foul balls that Ichiro hit into the stands during his career would have been foul outs a generation earlier. There is some truth to this. If you watched Ichiro bat, he fouled away a lot of pitches before finding the right one to get a base hit. But if they're going to make that argument, I could use the same logic to defend Ty Cobb. He played in the dead ball era when hits were a lot harder to come by, and Rose just barely broke his record. But you play by the rules and environment of your generation, and aim for the numbers of generations past. That's just the way it is. Also, Rose's home park, Riverfront Stadium, had approximately the same size foul territory as Ichiro's home park in Seattle. Ichiro supporters have claimed that Rose, at the end of his career, was unfairly given too many plate appearances in relation to his production levels. Indeed, the year he broke Cobb's record, 1985, he was sent to the plate 501 times, even though he had a .319 slugging and only 2 home runs all season, playing first base where you're expected to have some power. In 1986, his final season, 272 plate appearances despite a .219 average, .270 slugging, no home runs. This was because of the special relationship Rose had with the team's manager, himself. As player-manager, Rose was able to put himself in the lineup, even when it wasn't best for the team. But in Rose's last 2 seasons, his hit total only went up by 159. And like I said before, Rose's professional league hits total had Ichiro beat by more than 300. So what do you say? Who's the world hit king? Rose? Ichiro? Ty Cobb? Who's the home run king? The Iron Horse? And what young players today, if any, are the best candidates to bring these records down? Let us know in the comments. And until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.